What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActionMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about Breathe. Just, just breathe. Uh, it's 2024 sci-fi action adventure movie that I might have been able to find with audio description. I'm going to be real honest. It ended up on somebody's worst of 2024 list, and I kind of make notes of titles that I haven't seen that either end up on the best or worst of list before I make my best and worst of lists. And when I hear a movie on the worst of list, I don't usually go, ooh, I should spend money on audio description. So Paramount Plus did not offer me audio description, so I watched it without audio description. It may exist for this title, but I'm just letting you know about why I came to watching this without audio description. I would still say that even if it does have an existing audio description track, that it is up to the producers of the film to make sure that audio description track follows it to Paramount Plus. I should not have to pay the blind tax of paying specifically for audio description for every single fucking movie I watch. I have every streaming service. That should be enough. I should be able to get audio description. Anyway, so Breathe stars Wallis, which is another reason why I was interested. I was like, oh my god, this actually has a cast in it. Academy Award nominee Wallis. I loved the moment at the Academy Awards when I think it was Chris Rock that made the joke about how we couldn't pronounce Quavagine, but we can pronounce Schwarzenegger. And I was like, fair point. And from that point, but most of the time I just need people to say the name. Like this year there's like this fucking problem where people can't figure out if it's Brady Corbett or Brady Corbet. So until I hear his name at the Oscars, I'm literally not going to know. I will not know what his name is because I keep hearing it pronounced both ways. Maybe the Golden Globes. But so Quavagine is in this. Welcome back. I was actually wondering where she was. I was like, what happened to Quavagine? She has an Oscar nomination. She should still be acting. Jennifer Hudson, also an Oscar winner, is in this. And if we're being really honest, on the hot take, three people who are never going to get Oscar nominations for acting, which are Common, Mia Jovovich, and Sam Worthington, are all in this. So what's this sci-fi adventure about? Well, it's set in the future where we have a depleted amount of oxygen. We're having a hard time growing anything. We're sort of started off focusing on Jennifer Hudson and Quavagine, who live in this, I don't know, specialized home. Hudson is kind of a scientist, but so was Common, who plays the husband, who's there for like a hot second before he like goes off on his own and then never to be seen again for the remainder of the movie, and then he becomes like a plot device for everybody to talk about and be like, well, where'd he go? Oh, Dad would have wanted this. I want to go out and look for Dad. Like those kind of things. Like, and by casting a name actor like Common, it's always important because you're like, well, maybe we'll see him again by the end of the movie. So it's a good casting, but he's gone. He's absent for most of the movie. And they have this specialized facility where they're able to breathe. They're trying to, I can't see because there's no audio description and I don't have things, but like J Hud is having a conversation about growing plants. She's like, oh, we got this thing. And then her daughter's like, nothing is growing. I'm like, but your mom is acting like things are growing. I don't know. Like, she's like, well, who's going to tend to the garden? And Kravazov is basically like, what garden? I'm like, is there a garden? This is where we need audio description to tell me, is mom crazy? Or is the daughter being harsh? And there's like one plant You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, like, started to sprout a little bit, and it just looks really sad and pathetic. Um, yeah, it's, and they have this facility, but they have this device that her dad built, because you're gonna have to make a giant leap and believe that Common was that level of a scientist, that he built this incredible life-saving device. And there are some external forces that know about it, and they just want to come in there. And they present it as, we would just like to come in there and see, so that we can build so we can build or fix the structure at our own place. Like, we have a similar thing that your dad, we know about this thing, and we just need, can you please let us in? So and then there's like, is there danger in letting them in? Um, you know, it's not, I don't know, unless it's shot really poorly, unless the visuals are terrible. I didn't have a terrible experience with this. I felt like it was just sort of like a very sort of average science fiction movie. Like, there was nothing great here, which is sort of unfortunate because it has a very solid cast. Um, I was actually quite impressed with Mia Jovovich and Sam Worthington, considering I don't normally like them as actors. I think they've ridden off of franchises that they've gotten, but neither one of them are necessarily strong individually as actors. I actually thought, considering this doesn't give them much to work with, I thought they worked a lot with it. So no, I don't hate this movie, and I don't think it's one of the 10 worst films of 2024. So, there you go. That's my hot take. Even without audio description. I mean, my official grade is unwatchable due to lack of audio description, because it's a science fiction film. There are a lot of science fiction elements. I had a lot of questions. And like I said, I validate your feelings if you hate this movie because it looks like hot garbage, and I'm just unaware of that. But going based on the story, how it unfolds, plotline and everything, it's one of those movies where not everybody makes the smartest decision. It's not where not every line is written necessarily in the best way. It's not like the best script, right? We've been there before, but it's also not boring. I wasn't like, it didn't like go on forever. I was like, oh my God, is this movie going to end? And I've definitely seen movies worse this year, like far worse this year, that have, a worse script, worse direction, worse acting, all of that. So, no, this is just all right. So, but I can't put a solid finger on the grade because there's no audio description on Paramount Plus. Thanks, Paramount. I don't know if that's your problem. It might probably somebody else's fault, but whatever distributor this is. Well, I guess this is an in defense of Breathe, but not really, because it's not going to go onto my top 10 list of the year. It just isn't one of the worst 10 films. I see a lot of critics now. Now you kind of know when I'm reviewing this movie, but I see a lot of critics who are starting to drop their movies, their top 10 of the year list, and they're doing it before the end of 2024. And they're like, I've seen 141 movies this year. These are my thoughts. And I'm like, I've seen over 400 movies this year. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Why are you rushing at 141 movies to put out the best and worst of lists? Go watch more movies, you assholes. This leads to one guy who put Zone of Interest and All of Us Strangers as his number one, number two films of 2024. I'm like, fuck you. You do not need to be. There are weeks left in the fucking month. Anyway, Breathe. Not one of the worst films of the year. Shocker. I'm also not sure it's a good movie. I'm going to give it a floating grade of a C minus. I could go up to a C and be a little bit more average. It's probably maybe a D. I don't even think it's a D plus. I think it's probably going to be like a C minus or a C. To be totally honest, I don't see me going down on this. but it's possible. But if anything, I would think the audio description might pull it up to a C, but I'm gonna go with like a C minus right now. Yeah, I just think it's very sort of average, mediocre. It's sort of in the middle there. Um, and I'm if anything, I want to lean more to a C just to like be like, welcome back, Quavagene. Please act more. Like I've heard films from other actors, so it feels more like I might as well float it up to a C and say, well, you know. But yeah, it's unwatchable due to lack of audio description. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.